their emotions. So, kunyari, nagagalit yung bata o dahil may nabully, we teach them how to manage their anger. And actually, that is the source of our secret life. Ano yun? As we develop, emotions form the basic blueprint for thinking, acting, and decision-making. That's why akala nyo yung secret life is secret. Hindi po. Makikita nyo, observe your child. What is the secret life of my child? Okay. Look at the way he thinks. Look at the way he acts. Look at the decisions he makes. That is the secret life, of a person. Or kahit tayo. Next, they are our basic. Talagang ito ay natural na gift sa atin. And they have powers. Sabi nga ni Sir Dene kanina, di ba? They're so powerful that if you don't know how to manage them, they can break you. That's why self-awareness is very important with high intelligence. Anyway, God gave us this gift. Why? See, to guard our basic needs. Diba? May mga needs tayo. Need natin na masaya. Okay, so ano yung emotion related sa pagiging masaya? I lost my slide. May I have back my slide? Thank you.
Yes, Ma'am Dison, if you could just give us we're working on a shift to something because we're
as I was saying,
we are joined. Yeah, so go ahead, ma'am. We'll do our best, ma'am, to revive that or have that slide again. Thank you. Here it is. Thank you.
Well, actually, ma'am, that's an event checking my emotions also. My emotional.
Recording in progress.
I think I'm done with this slide. Ayan, there. Thank you. So, emotions are actually physical. Diba? Saan natin nararamdaman yan? They are expressed in the body. Kaya we need to we need to name. Okay? Identify. Otherwise, we'll have self-defeating, yung mga tinatawag na self-defeating behaviors or thinking. Halimbawa, blaming. When you don't you don't attune yourself to your emotions, ang tendency natin denial. Okay? And we resort to distorted thinking na tinatawag. Yung bang, eto lang yung nangyari, you make out of a molehill a mountain. Eto lang, ba't ka galit na galit? Eto lang yun, di ba? So, if they are not addressed, our emotions, it will be expressed in the body. Pansinin niyo po, pag kayo takot na takot, nagpapanik kayo. So, alamin mo, teka, bakit ako natatakot? Okay, so you identify. Now, the question is, because there is something like psychological in nature. Ano po ang nauuna? May I have po the next slide? Okay. There. Is it the feeling, thinking, or the thinking, feeling? Ano po yung nauuna? Actually po, feeling. Okay? Nararamdaman mo sa limbic system. Limbic system po ay yung emotion na part ng brain natin. Okay? At the base of our here. Yan. Aakyat yan, yung feeling sa ating frontal lobe thinking. Yan, sa ating brain dito. So, hindi naman yan matagal. Mabilis. Parang simultaneous nga eh. Okay, so una muna yung feeling. Kaya, do not act on your feelings. Count 1 to 10 kung kinakailangan before you act on that feeling. Okay? So, now, Emotional intelligence. Ano ba yun? Okay, sometimes it's called emotional quotient. This is your ability, okay, God gave us this gift to understand, use, manage our own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, okay, communicate effectively, all right, your ability to say what you want, your ability to address your needs. Yan. And of course, social awareness. If you have high emotional intelligence, you can empathize with others. Meron kang awa sa kapwa mo. And you are able to overcome challenges. We talk about grit, okay, and perseverance, and diffuse conflict. So kailangan mataas ang ating emotional intelligence. May I have the next slide, please? Okay. So, why is emotional intelligence important to know? It helps you build stronger relationships, yung sinasabi ko kanina na social awareness. Okay, and then see, you succeed at school and work. In fact, most companies now are not into the intellectual ability of the person. Madali kasing matutunan yan, i-train mo lang yan. Pero yung ability mo to socialize, to accept criticisms, what else, to be able to respond, okay, in especially in words. And emotional or high EI will help you achieve your career and personal goals. So, pag mataas yan, you can connect with your feelings, and then yung intention mo, oh, I have this intention, magagawa mo. Pero kung mababa, tinatamad ako eh. Okay? So, pansinin mo yung katamaran na yan. Saan yan nang gagaling? Because sloth is a capital sin. Okay? Kapag ikaw ay tatamad-tamad, walang mangyayari sa iyong buhay. You will not be able to achieve any action. That's why, name what you are feeling. And then, make informed decisions about what matters most to you. Pag mataas ang emotional intelligence mo, marunong kang gumawa ng choice. Okay? Ng maayos na choice. Na decision na alam mo matters to you. Meaning, mas importante sa akin ito. Okay, for example, ang mga bata na instant gratification. Lahat kasi ngayon, instant eh. May instant coffee, instant. Hindi kagaya ng panahon namin. Pero kasi, kung gusto mo ng kape, magtimpla ka. Minsan wala pang kape, bumili ka. Okay, hindi eh. Instant gratification. One of the things that Scott Peck, okay, advised parents is give your children delaying gratification. Delay nyo. Hindi yung pag humingi, ayan na kagad. Okay? Kasi ngayon po, yung panahon natin, sobra ang instant gratification. May I have the next slide, please? Okay, there. Self-awareness. If you want to have high emotional intelligence, self-awareness, your self-concept. Did you know that the self-concept of a child starts around 18 months? So yung may mga babies po dito, yung ating time given to the child, very important. And also, in one of the readings I have in the latest National Geographic magazine about personality traits, he said na the research says the 3-year-old character or personality, that would be the personality of the child at age 26. Okay? So, we got back to self-esteem is how you feel good about yourself, your worth, your value. Does your child value himself or na-exploit yung ating mga anak. Because emotional intelligence tells us that we become aware of what it is that make us happy within. Hindi po yung sa labas natin kukunin yung pag maganda ang laruan ko kesa sa'yo, mas mataas ang worth ko. Hindi po yun. Okay? Ang self-esteem ay worth or value of the person with himself internally. Next, self-image. Ito yon mga kamay sa paligid. Meaning, these are the people that have image of who you are. And that is the secret life. Okay? Yung tingin sa'yo, tatamad-tamad, secret life mo. So look into your values. If you want to improve the image of your child, look into the values of the child. Look at your parenting styles. Meron po tayong authoritarian. I am the authority in this house. Pag sinabi ko, ako masusunod. Yan. So what happens to the child? Fear of authority na hindi negative. Okay? Next, authoritative. This is the one accepted. Authoritative. Yung kaibigan mo yung anak mo, pero andun pa rin yung respeto bilang magulang sa'yo. Next is permissive. Sige, bara-bara, kung ano na. Sige, yan ang gusto mong gawin. Mag-wifi ka until 12 o'clock, okay na. Okay, and of course, the neglected parenting, mga neglected children. We talked about the needs of the child, and some of them are being neglected. Okay? Hindi nangangahulugang mayaman ng isang pamilya na ibibigay lahat. Pwedeng, yes, their needs for the basic, bahay, magaganda, kotseng, marami. But if they have no sense of belongingness as a need, love, then the child will have poor self-esteem or self-image. Okay, now, very important is the self-confidence. If you want your child to have high EQ, then make him feel good about himself by making him work on a lot of skills. Kaya makikita nyo may nagta-taekwondo ng mga bata because these are skills and it's self-confidence. Okay? Di ba pag marunong ka mag-gitara, nakakataas ng value at ikaw ay popular sa mga tao. Lalo na sa mga teenagers, magaling mag-basketball. Wow, ang daming fans. Okay? Ang taas ng self-image, ang taas ng self-esteem, tataas din ang EI. So, self-confidence. Habang bata pa po sila, let's discover their gifts, their potentiality, their gift of skills and talents. Thank you po. Next slide, please. And this is for you, my parents, my dear parents. If you have to raise your child all over again, okay, I have 12 here that you may look back. Ako siguro, ito ako number 3 I would do less correcting being a teacher, mom. Wala akong ginawa sa mga anak ko na maliit kundi i-correct. Pero yung connecting ko, dahil nagtuturo ako, kulang. Wala ako sa bahay. Minsan iniiyakan ko po yan. And I would like you to look at number 1. Meron mo ba tayo pwedeng parent na magbasa? 1 to 5? Any volunteer po? I would really appreciate. Oh, yes, ma'am. Your acknowledge po. You can start po.
If I had my child to raise all over again, I'd build self-esteem first and the house later. I'd finger paint more and point the finger less. I would do less correcting and more connecting. I'd take my eyes off my watch and watch with my eyes. Number 5, I would care to know less and know to care more.
Thank you, ma'am. May we have your name, please?
Mrs. Maria Lourdes Camilla po.
Maraming salamat po, Mrs. Lourdes
You're
Camilla.
welcome, ma'am.
May I have the next slide for the next reader, volunteer parent po? Anyone po? Okay. Meron po ba tayo? Yeah, Eliza Vivar. Mrs. Vivar, Atara is my student. Thank you for volunteering. Now I realize that's how your child is in my class po. She volunteers. So you can have 6 to 9, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon po. Okay, number 6, I'd take more hikes and fly more kites. 7, I'd stop playing serious and seriously play. Number 8, I would run through more fields and gaze at more stars. And number 9, I do more hugging and less tagging.
Thank you, Ma'am Elisa.
Thank you.
May I have the last reader? I think I have one more slide for this. Any volunteer po? Okay, Christian Kyle Agad. Is that Agad? Yeah.
Okay, so number 10, I'd see the oak tree in the acorn more often. I would be firm less often and firm much more. And I'd model less about the love of power and more about the power of love.
Okay, so this is your time, my dear parents, to do self-reflection and find out which among the 12 sentences or statements something you need to do more for your kids. May I ask the moderator to please show them the 3 slides again po, and just give them at least a minute to look into. Okay, can you go back? Yeah, to the first 5 there. The next slide, yan. As a parent, which do you think of these statements would you want to do all over again for your child's emotional intelligence to increase? I will be asking at least 3, probably, to share with us their reflection. Any volunteer for that? I still see the hand of Christian Kyle. Would you like to share with us what? Are you volunteering?
Sorry po, hindi ko na down.
Okay po. Anyone po?
Pero I can share naman po.
Of course, ma'am. Thank you.
For me po yung number 1, number 3, number 9, and 11.
I was asking for 1. You have 5? Okay po. It's okay. Sige po. You can start.
Siguro sa number 1, yung I build some sleepers in the house paper. Yun siguro nga masyadong busy, medyo pabayaan yung bata. And number 3, I would do less correcting and more connecting. So mas medyo nalayo yung loob kasi nga more on ako dahil sa mga mistakes na ginagawa, masyadong naging strict. Kaya medyo lumayo yung loob. Number 9, I do more hugging and less tagging. Siguro hindi kami ganun ka close as a mother and son. And then the number 11, yung I would be firm less often and firm much more. So dito siguro pumapasok yung sobrang strict na nakakalimutan na yung mga emotional issues ng bata. Mas in-enforce ko yung sa academic. So siguro if I would go back to the time na kailangan ko na kayo ulit, I would do these things po.
Thank you, Mrs. Agad. Thank you. That was so good of you, ma'am. You know, some parents would be in denial, but you know, you were natutuwa po sa inyo. And yung number 9 po, pabalik ng number 9, let me just give you something about the hugging and the less hugging. We all have different love languages po. So baka hindi lang po kayo physical. Honestly, I'm not a physical, toucher, but hindi po ako sa mga anak ko, kaya less din ako dyan. However, my love language is actually appreciation. Words po ako. Sawang-sawa yung mga bata sa akin. Okay, any other one po before we wrap up everything? Anyone? Anyone else? Before we go to the open forum, there might be some questions that need to be answered. Meron pa po? Any volunteer for this reflection?
Sila nito dyan eh, no? Hindi pa? Kasi si Darling lang. Ang ganda rin pumunta dyan eh. Nagbawas kasi sila sa akin. 5,000 yata yung napanood namin ni Madam na vlog.
I think we need to move to the next, okay, to end our session. Wala na po ba talaga? Okay. Wala na po? O talagang wala na. Let me see. Ayun, si Miss Vivar. Okay, let me see the chat. Okay. Sige po, Mrs. Vivar. We are ready to listen, ma'am. Mrs. Vivar.
Yes po. Kasi nung bata po si Atara, siguro gusto ko lang yung bumalik sa, kasi nag-work na po ako na so talagang nawalan po ako ng time sa kanya. Yung yaya lang yung nag-aalaga sa kanya. So,
So that would be number what?
asan na ba yung kanina?
Pabalik nga lang po. There.
Number 4 po.
Number 4. Ngayon, hindi na may watch, no? May gadget. ang mga magulang ngayon, sa gadget na rin eh. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Atara. Anything else po? Okay, so I think we need to continue. We'll have the last slide, I think, before the open forum. There. Now, I like what Ralph Waldo Emerson, and I would like to zero in here to give you the last reminder. You know what lies behind us? Past na yon eh, lalo na yung mga anak na ngayon na adult. What lies behind us? Tapos na, it's past. But what's important is what lies before us. Because these are the small matters now compared to what lies within us. Meaning, meron man tayong pagkukulang, okay? Pero, kung nandyan pa rin sila before us, you look within yourself and go back to those statements I gave you, because that would be an honest assessment or appraisal of who we are within us. Okay po? So, sabi nga nila, we may not have a perfect parent, but because we have an imperfect world. Kaya nga tayo minsan kulang sa oras, we need to work because may mga needs, ang daming needs na yan. And I hope that with this talk, I was able to enlighten you po with a little bit of parenting your kids. Thank you. And can we have po the next slide? There, my references are those books. They're books, and I also have an online reference. Okay, and may I have the next slide for the open forum? Wala na po tayong oras. Dapat kakanta tayo kasi the emotions. So open forum.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Dizon. Siguro at this point, bigyan naman natin ng masigabong emojis, heart emojis si Mrs. Dizon. Palakpakan naman po natin virtually. Huwag pong mahiya sa reaction. I'm pretty sure sa pakikinig ko, kasama ko, kahit na hindi lahat po nagpakita, Mrs. Dizon, sa kanilang camera, so for some reason, I could feel from here na they are one in listening with you, and the power of that message of making sure that we enlighten ourselves with there's such a thing as emotional intelligence. Ang sinisigurado ko marami pong isa na narinig natin yung iba't ibang mga reaction from our parents who participated. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. If there's one takeaway po para sa akin, I'm sure also may makikiagree sa akin, na relieve lang sa akin, Mrs. Dizon, na meron pala talaga tayong superpowers na meron kagaya sila Superman, sila Batman. May God-given powers nga lang. Hindi lang just supernatural powers. Ito yung God-given powers to take care of our children, not just the intellectual way, but also in the emotional way. Now, although naubusan na po tayo ng oras, kukunin pa rin natin yung chance, parents, baka sakaling may mga reaction po kayo or questions that you would like to ask, Ma'am Dizon. Pwede naman po. Pwede ko pong basahin ang mga tanong ninyo at mga reactions sa ating chat box. Ino-open po natin ang chat box right now. Kahit lang, sandali lang, Okay? Excited na rin kayo mag-start ang ating third quarter PTC. Pero, sige po, mag-share lang po kayo ng mga reactions ninyo pertaining to the topic that Ma'am Dizon just shared with us. Feel free po to type in your questions. At pagdaan po tayo sa at least two questions siguro. And while we're waiting for the parents to share reactions or questions sa chat box, siguro po, pangunahan ko na rin, Ma'am Dizon, may tanong rin kami dito sa faculty, sa ating basic ed faculty.
Of course.
As parents, in our own way, to our students, understand now that building self-image, helping our students to build their image. Ang tanong po namin, posible ba po itong magawa through online learning? Siguro madali para sa amin pag face-to-face. But is this really possible? Do you see it possible to help them build their own image sa online learning? If so po, paano po namin magagawa yun?
How? Okay. Ma'am G, even before the pandemic, emotional intelligence is already a part of the school's curriculum. Okay, so we can add values in our respective subject areas. So even if it's online, we can give it to them. So for example po, may mga estudyante ako, ayaw magpakita talaga sa camera. Okay? So how can I teach? So I said, we have levels of shame in life. So, hindi po natin alam kung ano ang sitwasyon ng isang bata. So, pwede nating mataasan yung kanilang emotional intelligence kahit online through our, di ba may program po tayo sa St. Bernadette, yung
Yes,
ating
ma'am. Our mentoring.
mentoring. Yeah. Yeah, meron tayo niyan. And then of course, in my own respective classes, I would like also to impart to them that they are wonderful children. Okay? So, ma-realize lang ng mga bata yon na, oh, I'm capable pala. We cannot, sabi nga Isaiah chapter 60, verse 22, when the right time comes, the Lord will make it happen. After all, ito ay mga bigay sa atin ng mga bata. So, God has purpose for them, the gift of potentiality. So, God will, if we have that faith, that childlike faith, we can. Did I answer your question, Bob?
Yes naman po.
Satisfactorily?
Yes naman
Or do you have
po. Actually, Ma'am Dison, we would really love to have questions or reactions kami. Unfortunately, mukhang wala po. Nahihiya na naman po ang ating mga kapartners. No? Nahihiya po siguro. At basically, we have run out of time.
Yeah.
But at any rate, kung meron po kayong mga katanungan, parents, pwede naman po namin i-share yan kay Ma'am Bison along the way. You can just simply share it in the chat box. So incidentally, Ma'am Bison, baka siguro to cap this open forum, any parting message na lang po sa mga magulang na up to now would really, kasi pagkasama po ito sa ating parent survey, no, nakuha natin yung idea ng topic po na ito that you so gratefully shared with us. Ma'am, any parting message sa ating mga magulang na kasama ngayon?
As a parent, I am a parent too, certified, okay, in my personal life. 3 anak. Tandaan niyo po, ang bawat pamilya, okay, may sariling tinatawag na family dynamics. At ano yon, galaw yon sa loob ng bahay. Just take time po to realize that nothing is impossible with the Lord. A family that prays together stays forever. So, huwag natin kalimutan ang sabi sa Proverbs, train a child in the way he should go. So see, they need training, they need your time. Yung pandemic na to, it is, I think, a God-given time for us to realize ang bahay natin naging tulugan na lang. So, yun lang. Ang bawat bata ay may kanyang potential. May potential, hintayin lang natin. Just like planting a seed. Okay? We let, kahit ba diligan mo yan, kung hindi yan talaga lalago, wala. So kailangan natin, we can only do things through Christ who gives us the strength. So let's pray for our children. And we are open, okay, to them so that they will also open themselves to us. Thank you po.
Well said, Ms. Dison. Maraming salamat muli. At this point, we'd like to call on our beloved school guidance counselor to extend our speaker, Mrs. Dison, a little expression of SBCA's heartfelt appreciation for this wonderful talk for our parents. Here is Mrs. Annabel Palayo.
Thank you, Ma'am Gonzales. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Gonzales. And syempre po, maraming salamat din po sa ating wonderful speaker, Ma'am Dison, for your very enlightening and talaga naman po marami. Even I, as a teacher and as your guidance counselor, marami rin po akong nakuhang points from your discussion. So thank you very much po, and also to our dear parents who spare time in attending our parent talk So maraming salamat din po. And to read the citation of our certificate, St. Bernadette College of Alabang present the certificate of appreciation to Miss Maria Teresa C. Dizon for being a resource speaker in the virtual parent talk entitled Building Your Child's Image Through Emotional Intelligence, given this 19th of April 2022 at St. Bernadette College of Alabang, Muntinlupa City. Signed by Miss Maria Flordelisa R.D. Guzman, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, and yours truly, Mrs. Annabel Pilayo, your guidance counselor. Thank you very much, Ma'am Dizon.
Thank you for the opportunity. My pleasure.
Thank you, Ma'am Beng, and thank you once again, Ms. Dizon. We would like to take this chance po to thank personally our dear parents and guardians who are joining us today. Maraming salamat po. Sa ngalan po ng aming VP for Academic Affairs, Mrs. Maria Flordelisa Rabonza de Guzman, and our VP for Administration, Mr. Romualdo Rabonza. Maraming salamat po at pinaunlakan nyo ang aming imbitasyon. We would definitely wish to hear your thoughts. Sana po, paunlakan nyo po kami ng evaluation kahit sandali lang po. Meron pong link sa chat box po ninyo na ibinibigay ang mga teachers natin. Okay, pakiclick lang po at bigyan nyo naman po kami ng evaluation. And while you do this po, don't forget, ang third quarter PPC and card viewing will happen shortly. Pagkatapos po nito, abangan nyo na po yung Zoom link ng class advisor po ninyo for your respective PTC and card viewing. So bago po tayo magpaalam, request lang po namin, baka naman po pwedeng manghingi po ng souvenir photo. Parents, pwede po ba? For documentation purposes, pwede po maanyayahan namin kayo kahit sandali lang po. Pwede po ba? Ma'am Zar and Teacher Cassie, kayo po ang kukuha sa atin ng picture.
Pwede po.
Parents, pwede po paunlakan nyo naman po kami ng konting picture po. Pwede po ba? Sandali lang po. Konting, yan. Turn on your cams, please. Samahan nyo naman po kami para may souvenir snapshot tayo. On your mark, Teacher Zar, Teacher Cassie. Sige po, ayan po. Busy sila, Mami. Meron ako nakikita na sa sasakyan pa. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Yes po. On your mark. Ma'am Zar, sige po. Ready tayo?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Another grade po.
Another grade pa raw po. Marami po tayo. Na full capacity tayo sa Zoom.
1, 2, 3, smile. Another one po.
Isa pa? Okay na?
Next grade po. Next grade.
Okay, may third pa.
Last grade po. Last grade.
Okay.
Turn on your cams.
Oops,
Mommies,
bye-bye.
daddies.
Grade na lang daw po. Last na.
Dun.
Okay, thank you so much po. Ano po, ma'am?
Thank you very much po. Marami pong salamat. Bilang pagwawakas po, parents, habang naghahanda na po kayo para sa card viewing, samahan niyo po kami namin kayong makisabay sa pag-awit po ng himno ng SBCA. Please stay safe everyone and God bless you po. Parents, guardians, teachers, maraming salamat.
Bye.
Tears
ipopost po ng mga advisors sa inyong Google Classroom. Thank you for joining us, parents. Salamat po.
Thank you, Ma'am Dixon.
Salamat po, Ma'am Dison. Thank you, Ma'am Beng. Thank you, Ma'am Richie. Salamat po. Thank you, Teacher Cassie, Teacher Zar. Salamat, teachers. Maraming salamat sa inyo. God bless everyone.
Excuse me po.
Yes.
Yes
Kasi
po.
po yung si Janelle, pinapunta po at pinakuha ko po kasi ng ID. Kasi po kailangan niya po sa passport. Tapos pinapunta po siya ng advisor niya dyan sa school.
Oh,
Tapos
yes po.
nung pagdating po sa school, binigyan lang po siya ng link kung saan pwede daw mag-register para